The topic of detainees at Guantanamo Bay is taking center stage on Capitol Hill Tuesday. Hearings are being held before the Senate Armed Services Committee on legal issues regarding military commissions and the trial of detainees. Among those giving testimony is Vice Admiral Bruce McDonald, the Navy's judge advocate.
I agree with the provision calling for the military judge to evaluate the admissibility of allegedly coerced statements using a totality of the circumstances test to determine reliability. However, to assist our practitioners in the field, I recommend that you develop a list of considerations to be evaluated in making this determination.
Also testifying with Admiral McDonald were Jay Johnson, part of the Defense Department's General Counsel. Iran's threat to develop nuclear weapons was high on the priority list for the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Tuesday. During a question and answer session at the Center for Strategic and International Studies in Washington, Admiral Michael Mullen said Iran could be 1 to 3 years away from developing nuclear weapons, and he's worried about the consequences.
My concern is that the clock has continued to tick. I believe Iran is very focused on developing this capability. And I think when they get it, or should they get it, it will be very destabilizing.
Admiral Mullen also said that he is in touch with his counterparts in the region and expects cooperation and exchange both bilaterally and multilaterally. Officials say a U.S. service member died Tuesday from injuries he received in an IED attack in western Afghanistan. His death comes after 7 soldiers were killed in Afghanistan in 3 separate attacks on Monday. 3 ISAF troops were also killed Monday in a helicopter incident. Those service members were taking part in Operation Khanjar, a new offensive pushing the Taliban out of the villages and towns along the Helmand River. One U.S. Marine explains how IEDs pose a huge and deadly threat for the operation.
We believe that they're hiding and observing us, and whenever we're not out, they're out putting their IEDs all over the place.
Those ISAF soldiers, in close partnership with the Afghan National Security Forces, were bringing added value and security in order for governance and development to flourish. Their memories will not be forgotten.
Afghan National Police, with the assistance of ISAF troops, have restored governmental control in the town of Khan Nishin. The Ronald Reagan Carrier Strike Group has relieved the Eisenhower Carrier Strike Group, taking command of Task Force 50 in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. After the switch, USS Ronald Reagan launched its first sorties. The crew of the Reagan carried out the same mission a year ago, but are now under stricter guidelines established by General Stanley McChrystal to minimize civilian casualties. And the USS John C. Stennis is back in San Diego. After spending the last 6 months deployed to the Western Pacific, USS Stennis, along with the squadrons of Carrier Air Wing 9, pulled into Naval Air Station North Island Monday. The aircraft carrier is dropping off about 1,800 sailors before heading to its home port in Bremerton, Washington. Control of Project Seahawk will transfer from the Department of Justice to the Department of Homeland Security soon. Project Seahawk is a pilot program aimed at enhancing port security operations by coordinating the efforts of federal, state, and local agencies. Janet Napolitano, head of Homeland Security, toured the facility. The port is equipped with a network of surveillance cameras, special sonar equipment, and a radiation detection system. Coming up ahead on Around the Services, tip of the iceberg. One National Guard unit tucked deep in the woods has a very rich history. We'll take you to Kodiak, Alaska. Also ahead, Desert Idol. No Simon, Paula, or Randy, but this competition is still tops for troops.